Hey guys, Tom here. What's wrong with Tanya? You may want to try and find out. And whenever you see Bill Hader show who he really is in that particular little skit, then you can know the kind of people I'm used to dealing with. Um, Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Um, yeah, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Do you think that Roy Clark was likely one of the best guitarists ever? I mean, with his skill and his what he made it look so darned easy. I mean, he really did. He was really a fantastic musician, I think. Um, I saw something about the Gnostic perfection, I think, or also known as the Satanic thing, and they're talking about, it looks like they're trying to combine the masculine and the feminine. Um, Again, in holy matrimony, if you'll read it, when the two become one, all right, it's a spiritual mechanism that they have entered into. That's why they say marriage is not something to be entered into lightly, because there are vows that you speak. And regardless of whether or not you say, I swear to God, okay, you're speaking these promises. If you're not saying, I swear, it's still, you're speaking vows. And I don't think most people understand what they are whenever they talk about these marriages and modern relationships and everything. It seems like love is not even a part of the deal anymore, which, that's part of the vow to love and to honor, which I'm seeing like it seems they all are failing at that. Cherish, dear God in heaven, what do they believe cherish means? So I guess modern women are those that reinterpret words to mean whatever the hell it is they want it to mean, whatever's most convenient for them in that moment. Um, and again, did we want to marry the dead? No, no, we didn't. We certainly didn't. We don't want to be with them. And of course, that's why we have been fighting for our freedom from the evil dead for the last 17 years, I guess, about something like that. But I mean, we told them right at the very beginning whenever they were talking about this, like, no, we were like, no, no, no. We're like the Bee Gees. We're staying alive. You can say I'm a ladies' man if you like and all, but the white ones, they actually are nice and they do love me and they're good to me. Um, you tell me why. But anyway, so I do understand whenever they say, like, you have the look that you're supposed to be wealthy. Well, I was, they compared me to like the Great Gatsby or something. I was quite wealthy, and they took an awful lot of that away just for fun. Gave it away, is the story I heard. Um, but again, even if I am the cream of the crop that always rises to the top, which I am, um, and I'm supposed to. And anyone who's against that, you see, is like you're actually working against the design of what I am and what I'm supposed to be. Remember, Major Tom is floating around in a capsule above everything up in space. He's about as high as you can get. Um, Thanks Ziggy Stardust, right? Yeah, I saw him again the other night singing Rebel, Rebel. Dressed in those red pants. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Um, yeah, I'm starting to wonder if that makeup theme isn't indicative of a being that they all know. And of course, we've seen it in other places too. And, it brought me back to that whole thing of, well, the reason why God hides his face from humanity is because they wouldn't understand. They just wouldn't understand. I'm not exactly sure what it is to be the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end at the same time. And then they think this other thing. I think these Gnostics or the Satanists, whichever they are, that are trying to do this combination of male and feminine. Um, well, there truly have to be Satanists whenever they're saying, let's combine the darkness with the light, saying that, one's feminine or over as opposed to the other would be masculine. No, the sky isn't the earth. You see what I'm saying? Light is not the darkness. I'm not the darkness. Um, and no, we're our plan and everything in us instinctually says no. They're liars and they're thieves and they're everything that you're not. And so the only thing you can do is work to convert what you can. But I guess those would be kind of gray, wouldn't they? Just sort of in betweens. They're like, yeah, they're really kind of on that side of the fence, maybe, but they can be brought back um, if they go through whatever it is you go through. And you know what? If I could make that easier for people, I'm sure I would. But since we don't know, we don't know. I'm not sure that we're going to be around to be doing that anyway, because of the way things have worked out. Although I have heard again, more and more that, um, you're going to get all this stuff and things are going to be repaired and you'll be better than new. Everything will work better than new. And again, but you know how I am regarding being suspect of everything and everyone at this point now. I was listening to a man who seemed like he might be all right. Then again, he's made a lot of noises about, like he's a proponent of darkness or something, and that integration thing, which is not my deal. Again and again, I've chosen against that. Now, I don't know what lies were told or to whom about me that any of the white people or the sky would allow these of the darkness to um, be doing this heinous work of theirs, making me accept them as part of me, which is not what I'm doing. That's not. But I'm glad it's failed now, and heaven has won the war against them for me, and has rejected from me all of that, all that is the kingdom of darkness, and everything that is an enemy, which we've already written and defined, including traitors and those that can't be trusted and those that hate us and all that kind of thing. Hold on. Yes, I am going to learn how to do some editing, if at all possible. I walk off from these things for a moment and I forget, where was I? And then I remember, oh, I wanted to say, yeah, I'm eating the last two pieces of bad pizza today. Well, no, I'm going to call it good pizza. It's really good pizza, has a decent taste to it because it was homemade. Um, but sadly, of course, it seems that even decent mozzarella, is completely unavailable now to everyone except maybe perhaps the restaurants. Because every brand that I've tried is pretty much plastic. Now, I did say, well, let's get this stuff from Sam's one day. Got it, opened the package, and it was these discs of what's supposed to be pretty fresh mozzarella. And there was water in the package, a lot of water because the moisture content was so high. Now, I had that on a pizza, and that was a few weeks ago, and it was good. It was like, hey, this is real mozzarella cheese. And then the next batch I got was like it had a lot less water in it, and it didn't seem like it was that good. It seemed sort of plasticky. And the last batch I got, it's like, well, what's the hell's the difference between this and the Kraft junk? And so then I tried, well, it's Argento. And you know what? I was eating this pizza last night, and I took extra care to make sure that I did everything just perfect for the dough to turn out right. It wasn't perfect for me, but I mean, it was bready instead of tough. Okay, but yet still, I found myself going chew, 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 chew. It was the cheese. The cheese was all chewy. I mean, if you got it while it was piping hot, I guess it wouldn't be, but I let it cool down some, and it was chewy, like I had plasticky. So anyway, we're going back to the fasting, and the first couple of days will be probably light, very light eating, like nibbling. Here's a couple chips or something like that, just to satisfy the urge. But I'm sure once we get past the first couple of days, we'll be on the full fast, and I've been reassured that we're going to do very well on our fasting. In other words, we're not going to be being stabbed in the gut several times a day as punishment for trying to fast. To damage us and harm us and make us cry out to God. No, I'm being made to wretch because of the evil magic that they were doing against me. Damn those people to hell. So we're going to be a lot more successful with that. And yeah, the energy is getting better. It seems like the more we're disconnected from all that stuff, the kingdom of darkness stuff, the better we are. The more, that I'm the day without the other, the better I am. It just seems to be getting better. I will say it's been enjoyable while in my convalescence and such for to listen to positive messages and stuff or entertaining messages from some of these prophetic, quote unquote, prophetic people. And then, of course, how it was sad, several of them busted out with, no, we're just straight tarot card readers and self-proclaimed witches. And I'm like, well, you can be. It's not going to affect me. We're not taking you on. But the thing is, you're going to be getting a lot less attention from us, where we had hopes for a moment or two. But then, whenever I see them start to, whenever they are obvious about going over to the other side, well, I'm aligned with what they think is feminine, and that feminine friend of yours who you think is not really, I don't think it really is either. I think it doesn't know what it is, and it doesn't know what it wants to be. But I think it's one of those, it's like it doesn't want to be feminine because it feels like the males are superior and or more powerful or something like that, and it's got some kind of wounds. But I don't think it's a real person either. I think it's bits and pieces of something good that was taken by a evil, dark damn thing, and then they produced that, which is quite broken. And I don't know, they told me, they tried to make me like think that I'm supposed to save it. How do you save what can't be saved? How do you save something that doesn't want to be saved? How do you save something that is saying, basically, well, you try to save me and I'll kill you. I'll murder you. I'll take you down into death where I am, because I think it committed to that about the age of 22, so it could be dark and lovely forever. I think once you've gone that route, that's where you've gone, and you can't, light's not going to go with you. I'm not going to fall you down into hell. We're not going into death with you. Again, today's Tom Sawyer. He knows changes are, aren't permanent, but change is. And they're referring to death. We're not down for that. We're not changing. We're going to stay alive. We're going with the Y. We're with the light is with me. Okay? We have no desire for anything of them or what they can offer, I'm real sure. Because again, what are they offering? It seems like eternal damnation, perhaps, without any benefits. Hold on. Yeah, well, I'm seeing a message right now that again keeps them a million miles away from me. They seem to be sexually confused. Okay? Hey, I know how people refer to me because the light. Okay? But there's a reason why I wear my clothing the way I wear it, why I am presenting as I am, which is a man's man. The day is masculine, and I'm very comfortable in that. Very. And I'm really, really unhappy about all that these other people have done to try and feminize me. It's one thing to let a little bit of the stuff in so that you have a feel for it and that you can, they say we have X and Y chromosomes. And so, because men can be nurturers, they certainly can be. They can love and be very dedicated and loyal to their children. Um, and in many instances, especially in these last few decades, it's been proven that they're probably more the stable parent and probably better at parenting than these modern women who seem to have no real peace or light. That they seem to just be um, suffering from the turmoil of darkness and Satan. Which, of course, if you're running with the devil is not there to make sure that you feel happy and satisfied. You have to remember that. It's not that at all. But I will say, uh, some of these messages, I'm just tuning out to an awful lot of it because you're witches and you're confirmed for that. And at the very first hint of you're trying to manipulate, all the bells and whistles go off, and I'm like, oh, another inception point, and I have to let it go just immediately. And I've gotten tired of you continue to try to do that. You're so set on your path. Look, there goes Johnny Depp. Um, and at least he's got some blue on, advertising his latest product, looking like he might be a desert living Native American or something. um, Johnny was a real favorite of mine, and he did make the mistake of coming out with all using the power of his position to voice publicly an opinion that was in direct, you know, again, I prefer people that we favored not to go against me, at least not openly and, just right in your face disrespect you. And he was saying the other day, it's gone so far now that, and he was trying to couch what he's saying, he didn't want to piss anybody off or anything. He says, it's come down to just one sentence, that they can just say one sentence. He said, well, look what happened to me. I think it's time that Johnny gets another part. Gets to do some more acting, and maybe he can get out there and do the right thing and talk about keeping society sane. And the fact of the matter is that these themes of God and country is what keeps everything sane, and everybody does have a responsibility to society to keep everything sane and not turn into a jungle. Because if it's going to turn into a jungle, I can tell you there's a lot of humans that are going to be harvesting a lot of animals. It's not going to be anything other. I'm pretty sure that's the way that goes. If you read the book, you can see lots of indications of that. But I would say that there's a lot of indications. It's like you're a complete sellout. There's no helping you at some point. Whenever they start acting a certain way. I'm going to tell you, some of these headlines are just like, you want me to spend how much time with you to find out what about, huh? And it's like, again, and don't, it's when you try to be sensational, that starts to get tedious. And you say, God is warning you, or God wants you to know, well, it better be something big, rather than, because if you're saying God wants you to know about how they feel that you did this or took that, or whenever they're just the damned enemy. You know what the liar is? Okay, the liar is that which would call me the liar. Old Scratch, the old dragon, is the liar. If you'll read the book, the first book, right? The most popular book ever sold. You'll see that. I was talking to somebody not too long ago, a couple years ago, and I said they were talking about dragons, and they were showing they had an affinity for it, and I know it's about because they're supposed to be magical and they are able to do this and that. And I said, you do understand that's another name for the devil, right? They're like, huh? What? I'm like, yeah. That's that's what they refer to the devil as Lucifer or whatever, because there's confusion in the name game there. But that spirit, the thing, the reptile, the snake, the gator, the dragon, that old liar, Okay, that's who the liar is. And yeah, I've had people call me a liar. Anyone who prays to God or declares anything in the name of God, that's what they'll do. They'll say, "You're a liar." Well, all I can tell you is we're going up, and heaven does favor me, and heaven loves me, and the good God of light and life, him who has no darkness in him who has no darkness in him, he loves me, and apparently the white, whomever the white is, they love me dearly, always have, and always will. And they're like bound, I do believe, in their own hearts to making sure that I make it up and out, and I'm well off, and I've become everything I was, and and become everything I was going to be from that stage. Because see, they're all a lot of these people, these in the darkness, are like, "Oh, you're so this and so that," and you're getting. I'm not even repaired yet. My capacity is still diminished. I'm not at what I am, what I'm supposed to be. Whenever that's all rebuilt, now get this, whenever all that's rebuilt, then you're going to see something that's roughly, I guess, probably another 30 to 40% larger, probably also quite a little bit brighter. And that's my starting point. That's my starting point. That's where I was supposed to be starting out from, to grow from. So my intentions are to continue on, going up, and ascending, and heaven makes me the winner no matter what, wherever I'm at, in of every scenario, battle and fight and struggle and competition. And if there's going to be competitions for money, then you have to come and lay your money down. If you're going to try to win money, you're going to have to put down as much as you think you're going to be able to get out, at least. But I don't think that's the way it's going to work, because we've always been a lender rather than a borrower. And I think we might be going back to that, but it's going to be a much more controlled and directed type of lending, I do believe. And of course, there's would be charity towards, but again, it's towards that type of charity is towards that which is working back towards this and for the whole deal. If you're coming back today, you're going to be day, and you're working for the day. That's the struggle that they have to go through, is all, and because it's from what I understand, it's a lot more challenging to come back from the darkness to becoming, to again being day. But if that can be done, and it's not, big problem for me, again, there's things I'd rather do and works that I'd rather complete than having to sit up top crying over people, trying to get them to come out of purgatory or wherever dark ass place they might be. But yeah, some of these things, no, we don't need to know anything about it. We're not interested in. Um, you know, I heard one of them talking the other day about how now that you know that you're vindicated, or that these your enemies, God is doing this or that. I don't know anything about it. We're not in contact with any of these people. None of this is are real relationships or physical relationships. It's all just energy attacks by satellites that keep hovering around. It's all invasions, monitoring that, which heaven is obscuring. All these that are trying to project in here to monitor me and see what's going on, or to be a part of the environment. Heaven is obscuring their view from me. They're being blinded spiritually from me. Listen, I'm going to run because I got to take care of some things. But I'll probably put out a message later just to let you know. Thanks very much for your love and support. It's not going to go to waste. I understand there's places for me to build and things to build. So, because that's what I do, and that it's going to be some real nice places. And no, you won't be getting in as a friend of hate or anything else that's against what I am. But you might be able to get in and earn your way into being able to stay. That's what I've been told. And if nothing else, You'll be able to visit to see, like, like in Tommy's Playland or something. You can come in and visit and to see what it is that you would be working towards if you were to enter into that course. It's the same for everybody, I guess. Really, it's just it comes in different ways, and they experience it in different ways. If you're a great, nice person, then you're living your life, and you're just a regular person. You got that chance to call on Jesus and have everything turn around and become the new person. Now, if you've gone the other way, then there's other avenues back, I guess, but I don't think they are forever, nor do I believe that they're supposed to be forever. Okay, so hopefully we can work it out so everybody's going to be all right, as much as possible. But every story I've ever seen does not include sitting with the evil dead and that which can't be saved and whatever for all time, trying to accomplish something that's useless. I really am not the kind to be satisfied sitting around with somebody telling lies to them while they tell lies to me, especially whenever they're really unpleasant people. Guys, and I did check in with the one little girl who was saying stuff about the Indian stuff. I mentioned it the other day about, the spiral, the learning spiral where you touch again and again on places. And she mentioned the realm of go, I think it was, something to that effect. To me, it's like, you know what? There's real truth in a bunch of these religions. Now, I don't want to get caught up in a whole bunch of the semantics of some religion, all the ritualistic yada yada stuff, because again, I'm not really trying to be developed. I'm telling you, we came in as pure as the driven snow, whiter than white. We didn't have to learn anything other than where we were and how to go. Well, I'm back on my way back to the White Cat house, because we're not, I would have, like CSN said, come out and speak the truth about the madness and all that. I'm sure we are going to do that, and probably, pick up an awful lot of our pieces that have been out there for decades, wonder where the heck we were, if they're still around. And they say, you're getting everything back. Well, are we getting Brian Wilson? Brian coming back too? God love you and God keep you. Stay strong. And yeah, try to be loving and charitable as much as possible. But remember, you're not here to pour out all your life upon the dead that will just drink it all up and say, thanks, idiot, and go on to the next battery that they might be able to find or whatever they might drain. Can we bring vampires back to being people that are alive? Well, it seems that they have to go through some uncomfortable times. They get really, really hot, but apparently it's a possibility. But it's not going to be at my expense. I'm not going to have to work real hard for that. Okay, I'm just not. Again, we haven't even gotten our stuff back yet. Once we're at full strength, there are all kinds of possibilities, right? Again, thanks so very much for your love and support, and thank you for to them that were trying to, rule over us and dominate us and keep us down and keep us from rising, keep us from being who we were supposed to be and all that. Thanks for keeping off and staying off and not troubling me anymore, because again, we would prefer that eventually you're going to be able to get in line somewhere and make your way back into day. But again, I'm not down for suffering for you in any way, shape, or form. And we're not here to be used anymore by any of these people, nor sacrificed or anything like that. Okay, talk to you again later.